So we've been talking a lot on the show about if we're going to take over our government, that Donald Trump is providing the opportunity, right? Because he's putting the ugly face on horrible government. He already lost the popular vote, so it shouldn't be that much harder to take the government back away from these maniacs, especially if we can get the House and Senate Republicans stuck to Donald Tanahan's Trump, right? And the crazy stuff and the horrible things and the racist things that he wants to do or whatever. David Brooks writes for the New York Times, and if you don't know who David Brooks is, he has his finger on the pulse of millionaires and out of touch people around the world. If you're out of touch, he knows what you're thinking. So David Brooks said this. He wrote this in the New York Times, and he said, there is a raging need for a movement that embraces economic dynamism.
It's 5 o'clock.
It is 5 o'clock. Economic dynamism, global engagement, and social support. That is part Milton Friedman on economic policy. No, it's not. Again, you're still getting it wrong. Part Milton Friedman on economic policy, Ronald Reagan on foreign policy, and Franklin Roosevelt on welfare policy. You can't have Milton Friedman and FDR in the same fucking recipe. Those are they're opposites. One's a demand side and one's a supply side. Those are two different sides. One guy says you put money in the pockets of working people, that stimulates the economy, which it does. The other one says you put more money into the bank accounts of people who already have more money, and that's going to trickle down. It'll start to go over the edges of their cash bowl. It'll trickle down, and we know that doesn't work. The evidence is in. But we'll put that aside. That's what you get out of the New York Times. That's not fake news. That's not fake news. So he says the new center, he calls it the new center. Again, everybody, they can never have a left. It's always got to be right or center right. It can never be left. The new center will probably start as a legislative caucus with members of both parties. Where it goes from there is anybody's guess. Whenever both parties get together on an economic idea, it's usually a bad one. Remember the Gang of Eight and all that stuff? Do you remember Barack Obama's grand bargain?
Sure.
Barack Obama's grand bargain was, let's cut Social Security and Medicare. So I'm always... what we need to have is a progressive caucus that makes the right wing buckle and come around to our views, right? So that's what we need. We need to get back to where Republicans are doing things like instituting OSHA and the EPA. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. So they show this on Morning Joe Ball, and they have Howard Dean sitting there, right? And Howard Dean, if you know, he used to be the chair of the DNC, and he used to be a real progressive. He was against the Iraq War, and he ran for president. And
he's a very good DNC chair.
Since he was to the left of everybody else running for president, what did they do? They had to smear him. And they got the news media to do it to paint him like he was crazy because he went, "Hee-yah!" in a speech one time. And so they had to make him out to be crazy, and the media went right along with it, just like they went right along with smearing Bernie Sanders and smearing Jill Stein. The media goes right along with smear someone to the left, so they did that to Howard Dean. Now Howard Dean got his mind right. Howard Dean got his mind right, and now he's back working for Wall Street harder than ever, right? He's a total corporate tool. So they read this to him on Morning Joe Ball, and let's listen to what he says.
Is anybody's guess.
I don't agree. It's already here, and the problem is none of them are interested in politics. It's the first global generation.
Millennials.
Yeah, I call them the first globals because they are the first globals.
They are,
and they believe in all of this. They're libertarian economically.
I think they're interested in politics. They were all over Bernie Sanders.
So here is Howard Dean, such a dummy on purpose, because he's doing this for money. This isn't an actual analysis he did of the thing. Oh, the millennials, they're not interested in politics. The millennials aren't interested. The millennials. The people who are packing stadiums from coast to coast. It's the people who didn't show up to vote for Hillary. They're the ones who are interested in politics. It's the millennials that aren't interested in politics. And it's such a dumb thing that Mika Brezyinski has to correct them. When you're getting corrected by Mika Brezyinski, or do you say Mika?
It's Mika.
I say Micah because I don't say Floor Mika. I say Floor Micah. When you're getting corrected by Mika, but by the way, he's going to go on to get corrected by Joe Scarborough in this. That's how dumb Howard Dean is being on purpose for money. Here we go.
They were, and that was great. But
and
look at
you
and me, but that was wonderful. But look at the turnout.
Yeah, but it's because it was Hillary.
Look at the but look at the turnout. Look at the turnout. Let's put the blame on the voters and not on the candidate. Once again, they didn't turn out. You mean they showed up for Bernie and they showed up for you when you ran when you were progressive, but then they didn't show up for Hillary? They must not be interested.
Sounds like such an old man.
What
he's
is
just
dumb old...
sitting there going like, these millennials.
The kids today.
And then he's wearing the outfit that goes with it, too, by the way.
Right? Oh my God.
Nothing appeals to millennials more than an outfit stolen from Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
I have no idea why you would go on TV like that.
But that's because they rigged it for Hillary and Bernie never got a chance. You really can't say that.
Quite go that far.
Oh, no, that's what happened.
Well,
Read the emails.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Stab him in the back.
Hold on. Let's not recap.
All right, let's not relitigate that.
Let's not relitigate that, because if we did, I'd lose. Yeah, because we did rig it against the progressive. The one that the millennials loved, the guy that the millennials loved, the candidate the millennials wanted and were excited for and would do anything in the world, would work for him and phone bank for him and canvas for him and do anything for him. That guy. Yeah, we conspired to screw him over. Why? Because we're Republicans. We had to do the bidding of Wall Street first. You get that populist out of here. That guy who's against Wall Street, you get rid of him no matter how you got to do it. And they did.
Wow, even the most abused spouse in America was willing to speak up push back against what he was saying.
What's that? The most...
Mika Brezyinski, the most abused spouse in America, was willing to speak up and go, wait a second.
Yeah,
I think you're not saying
this is like we've talked about the Morning Joe. If you watch it, it's like a domestic abuse situation, and even she could stand up. By the way, it's like a hostage video. Sometimes you watch this show, and everybody's afraid of Joe. What's he going to do? But yeah, even she pushes back against him.
Yeah, she didn't even wait for permission from TV husband.
Right.
By the way, if you're getting really close, you can see that she's in Morse code blinking. Help me. Yeah. Get me out of here.
They rigged it for Hillary, and Howard Dean ought to know because he was part of the team that was rigging it. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far that they rigged it. No, I'd go further. Every night on TV, Dean was Hillary Clinton's paid assassin against Bernie Sanders' progressive movement. Every night on TV, Howard Dean came out and did that. Not even the members of Howard Dean's own political organization, Democracy for America, would endorse the candidate Howard Dean endorsed. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. No.
Yep.
Yeah. I know. Democracy for America would not endorse Hillary Clinton. Right?
Yeah, they endorsed Bernie.
Yeah.
I think they did a poll on. I think a lot of those progressive organizations.
Yes, like Move On also did a poll. They wanted Bernie. That was an organization invented to defend the Clintons, by the way. They went against them. So, Dean has the knowledge and judgment to endorse the one candidate who could lose to Donald Trump and be the center of the largest electoral wipeout this party's ever seen. That's how smart he is. Let's go on.
We're all talking about the upper Midwest. Tim Ryan.
This actually ties in with what we were talking about earlier with the new generation.
So now they're going to talk about the election of Nancy Pelosi to be the leader in the House. Nancy Pelosi, who's been the leader in the House since 2002.
Truly the leader of a new generation. She really is. She's so fresh.
So fresh. And here she is again, the person who lost 69 seats, who's a complete disaster as a Democratic leader, who says the Democrats don't need to change at all. This is Nancy Pelosi, and this is what they're talking to him about right now.
Our party, and I think the country as a whole, the baby boomers got to get out of the way. This is my generation. I'm happy to advise. I don't think...
So they say one thing and do the other, just like Barack Obama, just like Bill Clinton, just like Hillary Clinton. He's saying one thing and doing the other. The Democrats are saying baby boomers got to get out of the way and make way, except, we got to reelect Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, though. We got to do that.
Man, the only way you could add more mediocrity is to bring back Kerry.
Yeah, here it comes.
That we need to be in the forefront anymore. I love Nancy Pelosi. She's, in my view, been the most effective speaker since Tip O'Neill. And She's going to win this because she's just going to.
Why is she going to win this? You want to hear why she's going to win this? This is what this is. Now, this is very revealing. Howard Dean, the first thing he says, why is Nancy Pelosi going to be reelected as leader of the Democrats in the House? Are you ready for this? Here it is.
She's just going to win it. I mean, she's raised money, but we need.
Because she raised money. That's it. Because she raised money.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason. Well, she's just going to win. You know, I mean, she's raised money. That's it. It's the old paradigm. Whoever raises the most money is the winner. Hillary Clinton lost. The Democrats have been losing their ass under her leadership. And that's all he can come up with was that she raised money. He comes on to say it again.
Buddy, for the next generation. To be in charge of everything, not just in the Democratic side, but the Republican side, to empower this very generation that we were talking about, that David Brooks.
I mean, this is all this. That's all. We got to empower this generation. We got to empower. That's a double. That's all bullshit because you're saying, but Nancy's going to win. We got to keep Nancy and Chuck Schumer. He didn't say a goddamn thing. Plus, he wanted to run for DNC. This is that guy. I should be. No, you're not getting out of the way.
But let me ask you this, Howard. And I know Nancy, and I've worked with her. I love her. I've had absolutely no problem telling my Republican friends all along. She's great. We worked.
She's very effective.
So, I don't know about you, but if a guy like Joe Scarborough said, "I love Jimmy Dore. I love working with him. He's great. He does all that,"
I'm leaving.
I would quit. I'm like, I can't even make that guy disgusted. What's wrong with me? Joe Scarborough likes the job I'm doing? That's crazy. That's crazy. He should be like, no, she's crazy what she wants to do with the government. She wants to save Social Security. She wants to have stronger unions. She wants to kill these wars that are going on. She wants to defund fracking. She wants to... What? That's what Joe Scarborough should be screaming, that she's a crazy radical. But no, Joe Scarborough's like, Nancy Pelosi's great. Why? Because she does all the same shit. She helped deregulate Wall Street, I'm sure.
30 years ago, if she had been somebody who other senators or congressmen got along with, that would be one thing. When most of the Senate was on and Congress was on the same page of like, we're in the business of governing.
Right.
Okay. Now, that's not who I want leading my party.
No.
I want someone leading, because things have changed. I want somebody leading my party who's going to throw Molotov cocktails at every fucking chance.
Yes. And by the way, the Republican Party has gone so far to the right. Everybody knows it, that they're a dysfunctional party. They're backcrab crazy. And still he's like, yeah, but Nancy's great. That is so that's a big red flag.
And by the way, just the optics alone. The optics alone of like, even if Nancy Pelosi was the most effective congressman of all fucking time, right now you look at what has just happened and she has to step aside.
I mean, just to watch her talk on TV makes you want to vote for someone else.
Yeah.
China issues together. She was a great speaker, a powerful speaker, and knew how to control an unwieldy Congress. But yet, if you just look at the numbers, if you just look at the performance, Democrats were riding high in 2008. From 2010 to 2016, they lost over 65 seats. They're at a lower standing now, despite the explosion in 2008 of Democratic seats, than they were since 1928. What is the justification for her? What does she say to the caucus? I know that I've lost 69 seats since I've been your speaker, but vote for me anyway.
That's what Tim Ryan's campaign is going to be about. But the truth is, she knows every member. She's raised money for.
Oh my God.
And that's it. The first thing he says, she's raised money for every member. And it's a lot easier to raise money for every remaining Democrat in the Congress because there's fucking 70 fewer of them. So it's a lot easier to raise money for those guys, I bet. Well, there's 70 days right off your calendar. This opens wide up.
I don't know why I should be convinced that that's such a great reason. She knows every member.
She knows every member.
That's actually reason, at this moment, that is exactly a reason to disqualify her.
She's raised money for every member. That's literally his reason Why that? So
those are her achievements.
Twice they asked Howard Dean about what's good about her, whatever. She raises money. Oh, the other thing, she raises money. And let's hear him say it again.
Every member, she's raised money for every member. She knows the process better.
She knows the process. Yeah, she's a real insider. Just what the country is clamoring for. A real insider. You know, an establishment Joe. That's what we really want. Someone who's going to not do anything big or brash. Not somebody, no, I don't want any big ideas. I don't want any radical upchange. I want things to go along the way they've been going along. Because, you know, oh, wait a minute. Everything's fucked up. And we've been screaming. The country's desperate for a new direction. Oh, I guess we're not going to get it. But I guess it'll be easier to blame Jill Stein or Gary Johnson or millennials who don't want to vote for your corporatist bullshit. It's everybody else's fault except old man Howard Dean and his filthy money trail that stole all his integrity. He's got none. He's not as dumb as this. We talked about this on the Aggressive Progressive, and Steve O goes, I just think Howard Dean's dumb. No, he's not. He's a smart guy. But when you're constantly peddling bullshit, you contradict yourself all over the place, and you say stupid stuff all the time. Because he's not speaking from the heart. He's speaking from the wallet. Yeah. And that's what happens when you speak. That's why Republicans are so easy to make fun of all the time. Well, no, Democrats are too.
I actually think there's a third option here, which is I think Howard Dean he's old. I think he still thinks that the Democratic Party from 30 years ago is a good party. I don't think so. I think he knew it was broken in 2003 when he ran, and that's why he would say I'm from the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party. I don't think he has a clue what the threat is anymore. I don't think he understands the dynamics.
I don't think he does. I'll agree with you on that. He doesn't really realize that the harm they're causing to the country. If you want to know who's harming the country, it's not the Bernie Sanders. It's not Jill Stein. It's not me. It's not people who won't play along with this duopoly anymore. It's Howard Dean. It's Nancy Pelosi. It's Chuck Schumer. It's Barack Obama. Those are the people who are hurting the country. And we're going to do another video on this later about how it was Barack Obama who really laid the table for Trump. Why do you think people voted for Trump? Because everything is going great in their lives? Because they feel like they have a leader who understands them and is trying to help them? It's the exact opposite of that. It's because there's one party rule, and this proves it. It's all about money, and it has nothing to do with the people or serving the people or getting your message to the people or making concrete changes in people's life or building up the middle class. It's got nothing to do with any of that. It's just got everything to do with money, and the Democrats are still sick on corporate money. And until they get off that, get ready for more Donnie Tanahans.